Yo, what's good, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, it is yours truly, Mike, coming back at you guys with another video today. Ngayon then, as we always do, magandang umaga, magandang gabi, magandang hapon, which means good morning, good evening, and of course, good afternoon, depending on what time you guys choose to watch this video today. I love this shirt. It's purple. It looks gray. It's weird though, because sometimes it looks like I'm wearing like the same shirt in every video. But actually, there's, sometimes it's the lighting. But hey, guys, I'm here to talk to you guys today. Like I said, I'm keeping up with my word. Like I told you, my 20 and 20. But today's topic is a very, very interesting one. And at the end of the video, you're going to learn a very valuable lesson that many of us as foreigners already know. But I just wanted to go ahead and give you my story so that you can understand the reason why I feel this certain way. At the end of the video, I will definitely give you the lesson of the day in reference to what this video is all about. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about my worst ever experience going to immigration while living abroad in the Philippines. Now, this story can happen to anybody in any country, but of course, where I was at, Philippines, that's kind of where my story is going to be based. So, to give you a little bit of a background, I was on a student visa. In the Philippines, that's a Section 9F visa. So it's a student visa. Basically, I wasn't allowed to work. All I did was go to school all the time. That was it. And every 2 months, in the past, every 2 months, or why did I say 2 months? Every 6 months, twice a year, I would have to renew my visa. The school would prepare the documents. I sign, I show up, get the stamp and my passport. Then I'd go on about my business. But later on, just before I left, probably a year or so before I left, they started doing it on a yearly basis. And then they also stopped students, such as myself, from going into the immigration office and doing the documents myself. So basically, they had a representative of the school in which I was going to that would do all of my paperwork for me, right? Which was cool. Didn't have no problem with it. So, they get the paperwork from me, everything's good to go. And then on the last day, after you've already made your payment, the only time I was allowed to show up was to make payments. I never gave my money to my representative. I would come and do the payment. But at the time when it came for you to stamp your passport and get the extension of your visa, which I can show you right here. Hold on, I got all this paperwork. The stamp, you probably can't see it. But basically, it's a stamp. That right there was my stamp from my student visa. So you see the expiration date on that was July 15th of 2016. So anytime I go back into the country now, I got to come back on a tourist visa. I can't just get in with my ACR card, which is, hold on, right here. I have my alien certificate of registration card. I'll show it to you guys real quick. I put it out in the video before. It's my mugshot. Yeah, so that's my ACR card, and stuff like that. So now this is actually expired too, so I can't even use it anymore. I'll probably renew it when I get back. But basically what I'm saying is, see, I always lose track of thought. But basically, I had to go to immigration to renew my passport. Or to get my passport stamped. That's right, I had to get my passport stamped. Now, in order to do that, I had to give it to my representative. I had to give it to her, and, she'll stamp it, and then she'll give it back to me and let me know after it was stamped. So I dropped the passport off early in the morning because, I had things to do. I had other stuff I wanted to do that day. I had to go to class and take care of stuff. So, I dropped it off, and I was expecting to get it back in the afternoon. This was on a Friday. She said, and then I came back to her, and she was like, they didn't get a chance to stamp it today. The office was really busy, but I'll get it back on Monday. So I go back about Monday afternoon, or she texted me, matter of fact, and said, can you come to the office, so that we could talk about your paperwork. I'm thinking maybe I got to go sign something. Maybe, something's wrong. I thought that maybe my paperwork had like a typo or something, and I just had to re-sign some papers or whatever. I get in there. Come to find out, they couldn't find my passport. Think about that for a second. Young student in the Philippines without his passport. This is the day immigration almost lost my passport. So I'm in a frantic. I'm tripping. because the last thing I want to do is call my father and tell him they lost my passport. Because he has 2 rules, which is the lesson of the video that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give it to you now. 2 rules. Number 1, never give your passport to anybody. And if you have to give your passport to somebody, you walk with that person every single place that they go to make sure that your passport is not lost. And whenever they're done with it, they give it back to you right on the spot. Rule number 2, never go anywhere without your passport. Never give your passport to anybody. Excuse me. That was his 2 rules. Always have your passport, never give it to anybody. But because I was busy that day, and because I had something that I needed to take care of, I trusted them. This is the school, you know? So I'm freaking out. I'm in a frantic, and I couldn't tell nobody. I couldn't tell my dad because he would lose his mind. He'd flip his lid. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So for about 2 or 3 hours, so I go to the immigration office, I go straight there, and I tell them, yo, what happened to my passport? You know, I'm trying to be as calm and as positive as I can, and it's nice because, you know, you don't get a lot of results if you're mean in the immigration office. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, you know, you don't get a lot of things done if you're talking to them in a rude way. So I'm like, nice. I'm like, you know, ma'am, I said, this is my passport. I need it, you know. I need it, so we got to find this, you know. And she's like, okay, sir, we're doing whatever best we can, blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe about 10, 15 minutes later, they find it. So I'm relieved as hell. Like, I mean, it was like a rush of just relaxation come over my body. I was overcome with excitement and exhaustion. I was just hyperventilating because this is my passport. Like, if something happens, we talked about this quite often. If something happens in a foreign country and you can't leave because you don't have your passport, what am I going to do? What am I going to do then? So again, guys, you never leave without your passport. That was probably the worst experience that I ever had dealing with immigration. But there are experiences that I had where in Manila, in the Bureau of Immigration office in Manila, I had to go there because I had to go pick up my ACR card. Jesus Christ, it was hot. No aircon, it was sweaty, and there were a lot of people in there. So aside from it being hot, sweaty with no air conditioning, there's like 100 people packed inside of a room. Everybody's just sweating profusely. You know, people have their fans, you know, their hand towels trying to keep their stuff together, but man, they could not keep it together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Seeing these people sweat like they did, me in that position sweating like I did, it was a horrible, horrible, horrible cluster of body odor. It was bad. I vowed never, ever, ever to go to immigration again unless I had no choice. You know, and that's just some things that you have to deal with when it comes to going to immigration in foreign countries, especially when it depends on the area in which you live in. Like in Davao City, it's a pretty small office, but in Manila, the Bureau of Immigration is huge. I mean, it's a pretty big building, and it stands pretty tall, so you got to know where you're going and go where you're supposed to go. It's always a lot of waiting, always a lot of sitting around. I remember one time I was there sitting for like 5 hours just to get a stamp and to make a payment. 5 hours for stamps and payments. You would think that they would rush you a little bit more because I know they want your money. So you would think that they would, you know, speed up the process, but it just didn't happen that way. So, you know, in hindsight, guys, when you go to foreign countries, I want you to understand it's definitely a lot of things you got to deal with, especially if you have a problem with the language barrier, because sometimes it'll be hard for you to explain what you need. Most of them, 99% of them can help you because, of course, they're used to dealing with foreigners, so they have to learn how to speak English. But, like, for example, if you're trying to get any information from the security guards that are checking you at the door, sometimes they are not the most helpful people because sometimes they don't know where to go, sometimes they don't speak any English. So, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, never, ever, 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 ever give your passport to anybody. And I said this is something that you should already know. But it doesn't matter even if it's like a school representative like it was for me. You know, I mean, it's not like I had any distrust in her after the fact because I don't think it was her fault that it was lost. It was just misplaced in the immigration office. But at the end of the day, it was a scary 2 to 3 hours or so that I had to wait to figure out what was going on. So, at the end of the day, never let that passport out of your sight, ladies and gentlemen, or you're going to have some seriously bad experiences, such as myself. All right? As always, you know how we do. You know how we do. You know how we're doing it. You know how we're going to do it. Do I even have to announce it? Okay, I guess I will. Book plug, book plug, book plug. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike the PI's quick guide for first timers to the Philippines is actually on sale now. Available, link in the description below. This right here is your survival Bible. I repeat, survival Bible. So anytime you guys are coming to the Philippines, by all means, this is the book for you. If you have not gotten your copy, you should get one now. If your friends don't have a copy, they should get one now. All links are available in the description below. By all means, this right here is the book for you. If you've never been to the country, if you have a plan to come to the country, and if you just generally have any idea about or you just generally interested in certain things that you should look out for, if ever you do decide to come to the country, this is the book for you. I repeat, the Survival Bible. #1 new release when it came out, ladies and gentlemen. I do not BS. All right, moving forward. Mike the PI's quick guide for empowering black men to travel more. Of course, this is a book that I made for my own particular race and background. I just wanted to inspire my own people to want to travel more. So to get out there, see parts of the world, and just enjoy life in general. As you can see, the cover that I chose, it's all about freedom, all about independence, all about being able to make life decisions, all about getting you into other countries when simple vacations just will not suffice. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Mike the PI's quick guide for empowering black men to travel more. Available now, link in the description below. And of course, my favorite, Paborito ko, which means my favorite, Mike the PI's quick guide on why all men should travel more. Again, this book and the book for empowering black men to travel more, they echo some of the same sentiments, but they are definitely two totally different books. Again, I repeat, these are two totally different books, but if you have already purchased that one, there is no need to purchase this one. I repeat, if you have already purchased this book, you do not have to purchase this book. All right? Available now, link in the description below. All of these are available on Amazon.com. Mike would so much appreciate your support. I'm here for you guys. I make these books for you guys. I'm all about inspiration, education, and information. Inspiration, education, information. That's what Mike is here for. I think I tackled everything that we need to discuss today. Again, never in a million years let your passport out of your sight in a foreign country. You'll definitely feel it. Cause I felt it. All right. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita, mabuhay. Peace.